When planted in your heart, they grow into wisdom. Welcome to Echoes of Africa by Tom. Once there was a king who believed no voice in the land could rise above his own, until one day a drum spoke, and its words were louder than the crown, sharper than the sword, and wiser than the throne itself. This is the story of the talking drum that outsmarted a king. Long ago, in the land of the Ebira people, where red earth met green hills, the drum was the heartbeat of life. When a child was born, a drum beat announced it. When a hunter returned with his kill, the drum praised him. When danger threatened, the drum called the warriors. And when the moon rose, children gathered and the drum told stories. But in this land, there was one drum unlike any other. It was carved from the trunk of a sacred Iroko tree, a tree that the ancestors said had listened to the voices of spirits for hundreds of years. Its skin was stretched with the hide of a lion that had been killed not by spear but by cunning. The carver who made it was no ordinary man. He was an elder who whispered incantations as his knife cut the wood, and when he struck the final nail, the drum gave a sound not of wood and skin, but of voice. Pa, pa, pa. Words travel faster than feet. Pa, pa, pa. Wisdom hides in sound. Who listens, lives. Who ignores, falls. The villagers gasped. The children laughed. The elders nodded knowingly. From that day, the talking drum became more than an instrument. It became a teacher. Every evening under the moonlight, the villagers gathered. Mothers with babies tied to their backs. Hunters sharpening spears. Children wide-eyed with curiosity. The drum spoke in riddles, proverbs, and stories. The talking drum speaks. The tortoise may be slow, but it reaches where the hare sleeps. The mouth that eats alone eats shame. Even the smallest ant knows the path to food. The villagers clapped and repeated the proverbs. The children imitated the drum's rhythm, laughing. Elders whispered to each other. Elder 1 said, "This drum carries the voice of the ancestors." Elder 2 said, "Yes, but will the king allow such a voice to live?" The villagers knew their king, proud, powerful, and greedy. In the palace, the king sat on his throne of bronze. He loved two things more than anything else: praise and power. When his guards told him of a drum that spoke wisdom, the king's eyes narrowed. The king said, "A drum that speaks? Ha! Do you take me for a fool? A drum is for beating, not for wisdom." But when he heard how the villagers gathered nightly, laughing and clapping at the drum's riddles, jealousy burned in his chest. King said, "If this drum is truly wise, then it belongs to me alone. For wisdom is the food of kings, not peasants. Bring me the drum." The guards stormed the village and carried the drum away. Children cried. Elders shook their heads. The people knew the king's greed had spoken. In the palace courtyard, the king sat proudly. King said, "Now drum speak. Tell the word of my greatness." Pa, 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 the yam in the barn is fat, but the rat eats it first. Pa, 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 the ruler sits on gold, but his people hunger. Pa, 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 the tree is tall, but its roots rot beneath the soil. The chiefs gasped. The villagers who were forced to attend covered their mouths to hide laughter. They knew the riddles pointed at the king's greed, but the king, blinded by pride, only heard praise. King said, smiling, "Ah, even the drum knows I am mighty. Beat again, drum, beat again." And again the drum spoke, weaving truth into riddles. As days passed, the drum's proverb spread. At the market, women selling yams repeated its words. Market woman 1, the mouth that eats alone, eats shame. Market woman 2, do you not see? The drum speaks of the king. At the farms, young men whispered. A farmer said, "If the frog thinks the pond is the world, what happens when it sees the river? Our king thinks his palace is the world." The king's paranoia grew. He heard the whispers. He suspected betrayal. One night, unable to sleep, the king stormed into the courtyard where the drum rested. King angrily said, "Drum, speak plain. Am I not the greatest king? Am I not the lion of this land? The frog thinks the pond is the world until it sees the river. The bird that forgets the sky thinks the nest is a throne. The lion that eats alone will starve in the end. The chiefs trembled. The guards looked away. The king's face burned with rage. King Furious said, "Burn the drum. Let its ashes scatter, so it will mock me no more." The guards dragged the drum to the courtyard. A great fire was built. The villagers gathered outside the palace walls weeping. Could truth really burn? As flames rose, the drum began to beat louder than ever. Pa pa pa, greed devours the greedy. Pa pa pa. Truth cannot burn. Pa pa pa, the mouth that eats alone eats shame. The fire roared, but the drum's voice rose higher, echoing across the hills. The people began to laugh, clap, and chant. Beat, drum, beat. Tell us what we cannot see. Beat, drum, beat. Wisdom lives in thee. The king trembled. For the first time, his people were not afraid. They mocked him openly, their courage drawn from the drum's voice. Overcome with shame, the king fled the palace, his crown slipping from his head. The next morning, the ashes of the fire lay cold, but in the center, untouched, was the talking drum. Not a scratch on it. The villagers carried it back to the square, singing, "Drum of truth, drum of fire, your voice is stronger, never tire. Beat for the people, beat for the land, wisdom lives in your hand." From that day, the drum was never kept in one house. It belonged to the whole community. At moonlight gatherings, it reminded them, power without wisdom is hollow. Greed devours the greedy. Truth always stands taller than kings. Moral lesson. And so the talking drum outsmarted a king. It taught the Ebira people that no matter how high a throne sits, truth will always be higher. Greed may silence mouths, but it can never silence wisdom. And the voice of the people, when united, is louder than the roar of any king. But some say the talking drum did not stop there. They say it once challenged not just a king, but a spirit of the river. And what happened that night is a tale far more dangerous. If you think a drum can outsmart a king, wait until you hear how it faced the spirit. The story ends here, but wisdom never ends. Till we meet again, let the story grow in you. Subscribe, like, and comment so you don't miss the next beat of the talking drum.